My name is METİN Arıdaşır. This is 141st part of explanation of my theory. Here, snapshot. Now I will explain that. There is no time dilation in light clock. Light wave doesn't follow velocity addition rule. 1. For all light sources and for all conditions, acceleration, deceleration, inertial and at rest. Arıdaşır's mine. Wave point velocity d is equal to c minus v cosine alpha, like this. Again, snapshot. Yes. We write here d is equal to c minus source velocity cosine alpha, and lambda n prime is equal to lambda normal minus delta lambda cosine alpha. These are my formulas. Here. For all light sources and for all conditions, acceleration, deceleration, inertial and at rest. Arıdaşır's mine wave point velocity d is equal to c minus source velocity cosine alpha, and wave point wavelength lambda n prime is equal to lambda n minus delta lambda cosine alpha. Formulas are valid. 2. Light waves and their electron motion form-sources are intrinsic motion forms of metasensation perception matter. We cannot sense, we cannot perceive, or we cannot see them directly. This is metasensation perception matter reality. We cannot patch our living experiences on metasensation perception matter reality. We cannot patch our subjective reality on metasensation perception reality. Our living experiences are our sensations and perceptions, our perceptions. Our sensations and perceptions are results of interactions between motion forms of metasensation perception matter itself. Subjective reality is composed of these effects that we share it with all living species, perhaps with all interacting things. But what is the mechanism of duality between metasensation perception matter reality and subjective reality? I don't know. Metasensation perception matter is matter. Subjective reality is life experience. Neither metasensation perception matter nor living experience itself can be seen directly. neither matter nor to sense the blue can be seen directly. All ordinary objects in our subjective reality, as the effects of meta-sensation perception, matter's intrinsic motion forms interactions, and all motion forms of meta-sensation perception matter share same volume of meta-sensation perception matter, but they don't share velocity addition rule. They don't share velocity addition rule. Velocity addition rule is valid for ordinary objects in our subjective reality only. Light is the bridge between meta-sensation perception matter, universal reality and subjective reality, and absolute simultaneity that built between light and ordinary objects, owing its existence to these opposite rules in two different realities. 3. In meta-sensation perception matter reality, there is no friction, there is no dilution and concentration and density for meta-sensation perception matter itself. On the other hand, in subjective reality, all of ordinary objects are only effects of meta-sensation perception matter itself interactions through its motion forms. There is no vacuum or nothingness, inner or outer spaces or around of perceivable objects. There is no ether that is filling in the inner or outer spaces of these objects. And there is no space that it means not to perceive, not to sense conditions of us only. This is at rest light source. This is in motion light source. And I advise you to watch my previous video and former videos. These are my formulas. These formulas don't follow velocity addition rules. These formulas for intrinsic motion forms of meta-sensation perception matter contradicts with velocity addition rule in subjective reality, ordinary matters between ordinary matters. But this contradiction builds absolute simultaneity between two reality. This is good contradiction, say. Here, firstly, snapshot, then again, snapshot again. Now, upside, a light clock is in motion. Downside, a light clock is at rest. If we think as if parts of movie, this is first part of these two, second part, third part and last part for each at rest and in motion clocks. Distance between two parts is 3 10 to the plus 8 meter, 300,000 meter distance. And these two clock, one of at rest and one of in motion, but firstly coincide at t is equal to 0 point here, coincide, okay? Then when they coincide, upside in motion clock on in motion clock and at rest clock on in on at rest clock, turn on the light source. Just in same moment they start to propagate these lines. In 0 second, this is position. This is first photograph. Yes. Time. In 0.33 second, light waypoint in at rest clock is here, and in the same time t is equal to 0.333, same time, its waypoint position same with this, okay? In 0.6 second, same time, second wave's position, point wave's position, same, lambda n, 2 lambda. And 1 second later, at rest, light wave meet the ceiling, and in the same time, in motion, light clocks, light wave point meet ceiling. So in this direction, remember 90-degree direction, for in motion clock and at rest clock, point velocity is c, equal to c. Point velocity is equal to c. Okay. Because of wave velocity is equal to c minus source velocity cosine 90 degree. Because of 90 degree is 0, so therefore wave velocity will be equal to c. Whether light clock is in motion or light clock is at rest in 90 degree, lambda normal formula we look. Lambda prime is equal to lambda normal minus delta lambda cosine 90 degree. 90 degree is equal to 0, so therefore thus lambda prime is lambda normal for each condition. Look at that. For each condition, in this direction, wave velocity is equal to c, same, and wavelength in this direction, 90 degree direction, will be same, lambda normal. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. Finally, I hope you see in 1 second this 300,000 meter distance for both in motion light clock and at rest light clock, light will arrive tick tock, remember, of light clock at the same time. Okay? In spite of, in say 0 degree direction, c minus source velocity. For example, in 43 direction, lambda normal minus delta lambda cosine 45 degree wavelength, and c minus source velocity cosine 45 degree, or lambda normal 180 degree in 180 degree, lambda normal plus lambda delta lambda. Wavelength will be that, enlarges, and wave velocity will be c plus delta lambda, or I'm so sorry, c plus source velocity in this direction. Opposite the motion direction, velocity of light increases. In the motion direction, decreases. In 90 degree direction, doesn't change. Point wave velocity and point wave wavelength doesn't change. Okay, here. And this is another picture that I draw. Same thing. Yes, here at rest, no change wavelength and speed of light in all directions, same in at rest source, and so for at rest clock here d is equal to speed of light, lambda normal is lambda normal in all directions. But in spite of, in the 0 direction, c minus velocity, c minus source velocity, and lambda normal minus delta lambda, in the 90 degree direction, anything change. Say, okay, snapshot. Yes. I hope you see. Then, here. Have a good afternoon. See you later.